Hi, it's Nadia here. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a great pair of freestyle earrings. One is a mouth and the other is a little eye. They should take about 10 minutes to make if you've got all your materials ready. So let's get started. I'm going to talk you through the materials and tools that you need to make these earrings. I'm going to be using my basic plier kit, which is my round nose pliers, my flat nose pliers, and make sure you have a good pair of flash cutters. You will also need a chasing hammer and a jewellery block. And I'm going to be using 0.6mm wire. You can use it in any plating colour that you want, but make sure you use professional jewellery wire so it doesn't have any nickel and you don't have any problems, otherwise you might have an allergic reaction to it. And don't use anything wider than 0.6mm because it will be too thick to go into your ear. I've got a small selection of beads. Anywhere between 0.6mm and 0.8 is great for this little project. A couple more things to remember is that you need some earring backs. You can have scrolls or barrels or the plastic ones, whichever are most comfortable for you. I'm going to be using a nail file just to file the end of the wire so it's not sharp when you wear it. And I always like to have a ruler handy just to measure and make sure everything is correct. So before I start, remember to subscribe to our channel, and I'll be listing all the materials and all the tools in the box below, so have a look at our website for inspiration and ideas. I've hand-drawn 2 templates for me to follow as a guideline, and they will be available for you to download in the box below. But if you're going to draw your own, they're roughly 4 centimeters by 4 centimeters, and make sure that you leave a 3 centimeter drop every time so that when you wear the earrings they work well. And I'm going to start off with the mouth. I'm going to make mine with rose gold plating because I love rose gold, but as I said, you can make it in any plating that you want. And I'm just going to take it straight off the roll because I'd like to keep that natural curve that comes when you take it off the reel. It's really useful for making a good shape. So you need about 15-20 centimeters. You can just cut it roughly. And I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to use my template, and I'm going to make sure that I leave a bit of wire over the edge, and then I'm just going to follow it roughly. And when I get to a place where there's a bend, I'm going to place my wires, my pliers on there, and bend it. And again, I'm going to create my shape in the middle by bending it. And once I have my basic shape, then I'm going to start adjusting it so it sort of works the way I want it before I bench it. So I'm ready to cut some of the excess now. I'm still going to leave it slightly longer than I need, just to make sure that I've got room for adjustments. Okay, and now I'm actually going to cut it shorter because I'm comfortable with how it looks. Now that it's roughly the shape that I want, I'm going to place it on my bench and I'm going to hammer it and adjust it one more time. I'm going to hammer it on one side, making sure that I don't hammer the top part at all. If you hammer it and it's flat, you won't be able to put it in your ear, so leave the whole top section not hammered. And then I'm going to hammer it again. Okay. And now I'm just going to tweak it a bit. And you can make your little adjustments with your pliers, so just a little squeeze. So I think this is good. And I'm just going to hammer it one more time, just so it retains that shape. Okay, and I'm just going to check it against my little sketch, because the sizing on this is quite good. So I'm just going to twist it around a bit more. Before I shorten the earring so it's the right length, a good thing to do, a good tip when you're making earrings, is always to place your earring back on the end to make sure that you've got at least 1 centimetre left over, which is what you will need in order to wear your earrings. So I'm just going to push it along. So I've got about 1 centimetre left. I'm going to trim the wire at this point. Yes, so now it's the right size, and I am just going to bench it one more time so that it's completely flat. So I'm just going to see if it hangs well, which it does. So the only thing I've got left to do is just file the end, because you don't want it to be sharp when you put it in your ear, and I just do that with a nail file. So I'm just going to file it a few times. Just curves the end a bit, so it's gentle on the ear. And that's it, one earring done. And I'm going to move on to doing the second one. Next, I'm going to be making the eye earring using my little template. And again, I'm just going to be cutting a piece of my 0.6mm wire. So 15 centimeters is ample. And cut it straight off the roll so that you have the natural curve, because it helps. And again, I'm just going to follow my pattern. So I'll put it on it and make sure I leave about 1 centimetre or just over 1 centimetre more than I need at the end. And I'll follow it around, and when I get to the bend, I will use my pliers to help me create the shape. So at this point, roughly, I've just got it crossing over, and I'm going to decide how big I want it to be before I finish it. And where I've decided, I'm just going to take hold of it with my pliers. So squeeze it with your pliers just there, holding it together. And now I'm going to just wrap my wire around it a couple of times to secure it in place. So I've made 3 little twists and I'm going to carefully cut the excess wire with my flash cutters. And now, using my flat nose pliers, I'm just going to squeeze in that little edge, sharp edge, so it's not sticking out. And I'm also just going to bring my little coil, squeeze it together, just so it's neater. Okay, the size is good. So now I'm going to put it on my bench and I'm going to hammer it. Again, make sure you don't hammer the top part so it stays curved, so it's easy to wear. One side. Now turn around and do the same on the other side, making sure you don't hammer the top part. Okay, so now I'm going to check this earring against the first one that I made, because you want to make sure that when they hang, they're more or less the same size. So I'm just going to put it on there and cut it so that they are the same length. So now I want to make the eye, the center of the eye. In my first earring, I used a natural jade bead. So this one is 0.8 millimeters, and you can use any bead that you want. I've got a selection here, so it's just a case of choosing the one that I like. And I think I will go for tiger's eye because I just quite like semi-precious stones. I'm just going to cut a small piece of wire. It's just a few centimeters. I don't even need this much, but it's just easier to start off with. So I'm going to attach it to the middle of my eye. I'm leaving a little tail. It's about 1 centimeter long. I'm going to bend it with my fingers, so it's quite tight, and push it with my thumb so it goes inside. And then I'm going to take my round nose pliers just to help me pull it through. And again, I'm just going to take it around with my pliers, push the little tail through and up. I'm going to try and do it one more time, just so it's nice and secure. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that little edge that's pointing. And now with my flat nose pliers, I'm going to bring that little coil a bit closer, just so it's neater. And it's more or less in the middle. And I'm just going to squeeze that little, very gently squeeze the little edge that's sticking up, so it's not sharp. And now I'm going to put my bead, so my little 0.8 mil tiger's eye bead that I chose. I'm going to put it on it, so it's sitting inside the eye. So my bead is sitting on the other side. I've threaded it through the wire and it's now sitting inside the eye, and what I need to do is secure this part of the wire. So again, I'm just going to carefully bend it with my fingers, just so that I have an idea of where it needs to be. And now I'm going to trim this length of wire, otherwise it's going to be very difficult for me to twist. So I'm going to give it about 1 centimetre. And with my round nose pliers, I'm just going to bring it in, feed it through, take it around, and again you can bend it with your finger and then bring it through with your pliers. And I might just manage to do it one more time. Okay, so flat nose pliers. I'm going to bring the little coil closer. I'm going to trim that little edge so it's neater, and I'm just going to squeeze it. Now put your barrel on the end of the wire. I'm going to make sure that this wire and the other one are the same length. So I need to trim it ever so slightly here, so that the earrings hang the same length. And again, I'm just going to polish it. So that's it. Some freehand, freestyle earrings, which you can make in about 10 minutes. And if you put them in a little box with a ribbon around them, they make a perfect little gift. So enjoy making them, and hope to see you for our next project.